early on as well, that is a pathway through. Seems to me that this whole idea of being a teacher for very long.
How can schools provide CPD for the staff who are not teachers? Find out how this cluster of schools in the London Borough of Sutton solved the problem.
Right, agenda item 7 is our support staff training conference. Last year we held a very successful support staff training event. For too long in education, the teachers have been given priority in training. A school is a huge organisation, and the teaching staff is normally about half of the actual number of people that work in a school.
David Hall chairs the termly meeting of the group of trainers in the consortium of 5 secondary schools in Sutton. The group plans professional development for school staff across the 5 schools and others in the borough.
Now we've identified a date, but again, because of funding, we've got to look at a different type of model of how we're going to provide the opportunities for...
When the group got together in 2004, the professional training priority was to improve the standard of teaching in the members' schools.
However, very quickly the programme changed, and very much we developed from being a teacher training organisation into one that was looking at continuing professional development in a wider sense, and also now increasingly workforce remodelling.
The consortium realised it was important to make the most of the school's many support workers. Laura Dalton works at Glenthorne, one of the schools in the consortium.
I'm personnel manager, so I deal with anything to do with the staff, within what we would class as admin staff. So we're a big group, but we all work in different areas and we all have different line managers. So I'm not in any particular little group within the admin staff. I'm a sort of standalone.
Mary Dale is a cover supervisor at Glenthorne.
I was the first one appointed at the school, and this is thanks to the TDA workforce reforms that introduced the job of cover supervisor. I've been doing it now here at Glenthorne for 5 years.
The consortium of trainers decided to bring support staff like Mary and Laura from all 5 schools together for an afternoon conference, and the technicians filmed it.
We had a programme of different seminars, discussion groups and outside speakers looking to routeways and pathways to develop their career.
There were staff from all throughout the borough. I was quite amazed at how many people were there. They divided into little workshops and you could choose, I think you chose 2 out of 3 for everyone to go to. I went to one on training opportunities for support staff and you know, how they could gain qualifications.
What surprised me was actually the variety of support staff roles and how they're carried out in different schools and how they all operate differently.
Mary was invited to speak at the event.
The purpose of my speech really was to talk about the foundation degree that I did. And to let people know, cover supervisors and teaching assistants, that there are formal qualifications out there that they can gain.
It was just really interesting because although I've worked with her for a long time, I hadn't really, focused on what she'd actually had to do to get to where she is now.
The conference was wonderful. It was a great success. The staff really loved it. The atmosphere was really supportive and jolly.
But what did the support staff themselves think?
I think the biggest thing for me was sort of networking. And, there were people there that I knew already, but it was just nice to sort of sit with other people from other schools and sort of, a topic would come up and you could say, well, how are you dealing with that in your school? And you can think, oh, yeah, well, I might take that back and use that, which, it's always good to do that. And we don't get those opportunities, really.
I felt it was actually recognition for support staff and the roles that they do. I think there are lots of events and things for teachers, and so there should be. But I think for support staff, I think personally we feel a little bit forgotten sometimes, and I do think it was really encouraging to be recognised, and I think that was one of the really key things for me.
It provided them with time to talk. It provided them with people who would give them some expert advice on how to carry their own careers or training forward. But more importantly, it showed that they were valued. And I think it's important that we don't lose a focus on the support staff, because what support staff do in school is equally as important as what teaching staff do in school. And they need to be at all levels valued accordingly.